Hello, and welcome to the Part-Time Podcast. I'm Joe.
And I'm Anna.
How are you today, Anna?
I'm really good. I have a joke for you.
I'm also good. Okay, what is the joke?
So, 10 plus 10 and 11 plus 11 equal the same thing.
Okay.
Don't they?
No, they don't.
What's 10 plus 10?
10 plus 10 is 20.
What's 11 plus 11?
22. Oh, God.
Gotcha!
All right, that's pretty good.
I didn't think you'd fall for that. I thought you'd get that one.
No, I didn't really think it through.
You're usually the joke king. So.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was a good one, though.
That was a good
it?
one, yeah. Alrighty, so...
You pissed that I
a little bit. I don't know. I haven't even heard that
you're
one at all.
Mad
no,
that
I'm
I got
mad.
a good joke.
It was good.
And
that was
you
a good
didn't.
One. Well, I was trying to think of a joke to tell you, but I don't think there's any I have that you haven't heard yet.
Yeah, you tell me them every day.
Yeah, we'll do a joke off another day, maybe. We'll each look some up. Look up some new ones we haven't heard, and then we'll do that.
I like that.
Okay, so Anna, without giving any specifics, why don't you give a little job update? Because there has been some big news in your life, and it's been so much for the better.
Well, I started a new job yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was a really good time.
Yeah, you actually had 2 job offers at once, which is a first for you. And it was 2, there weren't really any cons for either one.
Yeah, they were both pretty great, and pretty great options. But I had to choose one because they both have the same hours. So it wouldn't work out to have both of them, sadly. But it turned out to be a really great job so far. I mean, this is only day 1, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. But everyone was really nice and super cool, and yeah. But that's all I'll get into about it.
Yeah, just won't give too many specifics. Basically, Anna's been job hunting for weeks, which is a full job in itself. But if Anna really was desperate, she could have gotten a job at Home Depot probably 3 weeks ago. But she knows, we both know she would probably be miserable at that job. And it's just not worth
something I want to do.
Yeah. It's not worth it if you're just going to end up quitting it in a few weeks anyway because you're miserable.
Yeah, exactly. Just because I found something else.
Just not for her. Okay, we are back. That was the timer for some chicken I was making, and it just cut off what we were recording. But anyway, so Anna's got a new job. She is feeling good, and the hours are great. Actually, pretty perfect.
I do like them. It's really nice.
Yeah. Finally back to a routine and everything. A little update on what I've got going on. I don't even know if I've mentioned it on the podcast yet, but long story short, I'm starting a Kickstarter, and I'm finding out there's a lot more campaigning you have to do before you launch the Kickstarter. So I've been doing that, and hopefully I will launch it on Tuesday. So that's been a lot of fun, and I'm really excited about that. One quick thing I want to mention, I do a lot of daydreaming, and today I was just, we talked about it a little bit. I was dreaming about one day if we had an apartment or a house that was attached to a gallery, and if we had a gallery and a studio and like a print shop all in one attached to where we lived, and we could employ our friends to work there with us.
Ugh,
and how much fun that would be. And Anna was like, yeah, like a Bob's Burgers almost. I was like, yeah, exactly. I didn't really think of it that way.
Yeah, I love that aspect of that show.
Yeah. I think that's like kind of an achievable goal. Like maybe it wouldn't be some great gallery. We could start small and do something. I don't know. Just something to think about. All right, why don't you give an update on your crochet project? I don't think she would listen to this, so I don't think it would ruin the surprise.
Well, I'm just making something for somebody, and...
Well...
I don't
know.
Let's
not give anything away, but there was some hot glue involved that seemed like it wasn't going to be that daunting of a task, and the hot gluing aspect is taken like almost as long as the crochet part.
Every individual piece down, and there's a lot of pieces, so it's taking a lot longer than I thought, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's almost done, so.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be dope. Oh, and speaking of dope, we just saw the movie Nope. So, Anna, this isn't first impression because we talked for a little bit, but coming right out of the theater a few hours ago, how do you feel?
Amazing. I was really stressed out the whole time. My wrist hurts from grabbing onto your shirt and not letting go for a very long time because I was so scared.
It was really scary, I thought.
Yeah, it's just terrifying.
Yeah. Not
it's
really
terrifying.
A small spoiler, I guess. I'll just say it's a movie about aliens, and they actually made aliens really scary. I don't think I've ever seen a really scary alien movie.
It is really... I mean, everyone thinks it's about aliens to begin with.
Yeah.
That's everyone's
It
prediction.
shows in the trailer.
Yes,
and
it's about aliens.
I will say that I don't think I'm going out on a limb here. It made clouds kind of scary.
Yeah,
it'll do for clouds what Jaws did for the water.
It made a lot of things scary that I didn't think could be that scary.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was intense.
Just shot beautifully.
Yeah.
Acted amazingly.
Everyone was amazing.
Just so good. I'm trying to think. Oh, what he does in movies that I love is it's not self-aware to the point where the characters know they're in a horror movie, but they do what you would do. Like, there's a part in the movie where one of the characters is looking at something on a screen that scares them, but it's sort of a fake out. It's not really the scary thing you're expecting.
Yeah.
And then, normally what would happen in a movie is the scary thing would pop behind the person. Yeah. She immediately looks over her shoulder to see if there's anything in the doorway.
Yes, she does.
It's so good, but it's not funny like a wink at the camera. It's just subtle. It's what a person would do.
Yeah, they do
Love
act the way that you would think that they would act.
Well, it's just the way you would act if you were
it was
in
just if that was happening to you, what that was happening to them, you would do the exact same thing. Like, it was.
It's like whenever you watch a horror movie and you're mad at the way people act in it, this is the complete opposite.
You're like,
this is like,
oh my
okay,
gosh.
they have the proper reaction and how those characters go through this. It's so good.
Yeah.
Just the music was great.
Oh my god, yeah, the music was great.
I wouldn't say it really has. It does have a score that comes in and out, and it really comes strong at the end, more than his other movies, I think.
All the clothing was so amazing.
What was the main, the sister, what's that actress's name?
Who?
The sister, the main character?
Keke Palmer.
Yeah, all her outfits were cool.
All her outfits were really cool.
You would like what she was wearing.
What's the guy's name who owns the, place where he's buying the horses from the main guy? Do you know who that actor's name is?
No. Oh, his jacket?
Yeah, his jacket.
So awesome.
It's in the trailer where he's looking up and his hat flies off. Yeah. He's got this red jacket on.
It's like a cowboy jacket that's spangly.
Yeah, it's a cowboy jacket, but when he turns around, there's an embroidered UFO on the back.
It looks so good.
Just beautiful. It you can tell that it was just every single little detail he thought through.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
They made it make sense for the character. They made it make sense in the movie. It didn't look like I don't know how to explain it. It didn't look like some movie quality jacket that he wouldn't have. It made sense for the character that he had it. There's so many creepy things, and it did what a lot of great horror movies do, where a lot of the creepy stuff didn't have anything to do with the plot. Remember the character from the show that was at the ranch later, whose face was all messed up?
Oh, yeah.
That. They didn't
that
was
do
just
anything.
In there to be so creepy.
Yeah, that was
good.
Really, really creepy. Well, you see it in the trailer, and you're kind of like, what's going on with this? This is really scary, but it's I honestly thought, I don't know. I don't want to say what I thought because I don't want people to you know, if they're listening to this, I don't want them to be spoiled or anything, but
Yeah.
it's just, you would never think that what happens.
It's so good.
Just terrifying.
Just great. The imagery is awesome. And like, we did say there's aliens. Part of it's shot where it's like, you find yourself in the theater moving to look around objects that are in the movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
There's a part where he goes under a lean-to to run away from something, and you can't see where the thing is because the lean-to's in the way, and you kind of catch yourself looking. Were you doing that at all? Like, did you feel like kind of... You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Maybe that's just
I'm the person that's covering their eyes
that's
and
right.
not looking when I know that something gross or something that's going to make me feel uncomfortable in any way. Like the one part that made me extremely uncomfortable that I did not like. My eyes are closed. My hand is up, covering my eyes. I cannot watch. And it really freaks me out.
It does this great thing by not revealing a lot of something, but then revealing a ton of it, still without revealing
but you
any
know
of it.
Exactly.
Because it's an alien type thing, it doesn't...
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
And, like, it's not, like, I feel like a lot of alien movies, like, the aliens just look like shit. And, like, they just don't... They're not that scary because...
too much, it might...
Oh, sorry.
No, just make noise.
They're not... It's... Like, I feel like when I see aliens, I'm like, yo, these literally just look like people in a suit. Like, it's not that scary because it takes you out of it.
Or sometimes when
not like that.
When you make an alien that's CG or something, it just doesn't... It looks so not real that it's not really scary.
Yeah.
Or just kind of dumb. I don't think you've ever seen District 9. Coolest aliens in a movie ever. They're without explaining the whole plot, there's these aliens that basically look like giant bugs, and the CG's really cool, and they look just awesome.
Cool.
Another one, that's a really good movie. Another one is that movie with Amy Adams. No, I can't even remember. It doesn't matter. There's these big squid type aliens that are really cool. All right, so Nope gets a big yep from both of us.
Yeah, I was pretty much saying nope the whole time.
Yeah, they say it a lot in the movie, and it's great.
Yeah, it is actually perfect. When they say it, it's perfect. It's
there's this,
exactly where you would say
it's not really a jump scare, but just a genuine earned scare earlier in the movie, and he just goes, nope, and goes to walk out.
Yeah.
It's great.
Did a really good job on that.
I really think it took the best aspects of Us and Get Out and made, like you were saying, a masterpiece. How do you feel in comparison to the other two? If you had to compare it to something. You don't have to because it's its own thing.
Honestly, this one might be my favorite out of the three.
It's pretty up there for me too. It's well, there's only three movies.
Oh, the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Like, I don't know, like, it was just all around like a 10 out of 10 for me. Like, it was so scary, but like, I don't know, it was just like, I feel like sometimes when things are like so scary, it's just like too much. Like, they just do too much. Like, they're just trying to make you like
there's
like uncomfortable and stuff, but like
scares that aren't earned, or there's just jump scares every second with a strong musical cue that's like not set up.
I was tense the whole time just because I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm like, holy crap! Like, what's going on?
And the movie knows it because it messes with you the whole time.
Yeah, it really does. There's so many different things too. Like, there's so many different like things going on, and I don't know. It's wild. Yeah.
So all around, really enjoyed Nope. Highly recommend it.
If you can
go see it.
If you can sit through stuff like that, because I'm not usually the type of person
that can do that. It's a lot of fun though. It's really fun. It's like The Shining. The Shining's a terrifying movie, but it's so good that you can watch it and pick it apart and talk about it. All right. Well, that's good for Nope. A minute ago, Anna was talking about a horror movie she saw in the mid-aughts, I suppose. One of the first scary movies she said she saw which was parallel.
Well, first scary movie I ever saw in, like, the theaters.
Yes.
Which is a different experience when it comes to scary movies.
Big time.
Because I feel like at home, it's way easier to watch a scary movie. But when you're in the theaters, it's a like foreign area. You're like, where are my exits?
Fully sucked in.
Is someone behind me, like, gonna mess with me? Like,
it's like immersive. The sound is a whole thing.
Yes, the sound is a lot. So, like, it's a lot to, like, watch a scary... And I was never, like, a big scary movie person. Like, I never really watched them as... I probably had saw, like, a couple here and there that weren't really that scary before this. And this was, like, the first movie I had ever seen in theaters that was a scary movie.
Yeah. Now, you explained the ending of it a second ago. Why don't you, in about 5 minutes, tell me the whole plot of Paranormal Activity?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of
Keep
all,
it brief.
I'm pretty sure
I've never seen it.
I've only seen this movie once. And this was 10 years ago, I think it came out. When did it come out?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Okay, so all I remember, there is a point where a knife is on the ceiling, I think. And then they toy with it, like, thinking it's going to fall down and, like, stab somebody. But I don't know if it actually stabs somebody. I remember that. I remember the scene where, like, the camera's in the corner of the bedroom. And they're, like, the ghost is, like, messing with them in the bedroom at night.
So it's about ghosts?
Yeah, Paranormal Activity.
I'm just saying.
It's Paranormal Activity. What else would it be about?
I don't know. Paranormal Activity, I guess.
That's yeah. It's just ghosts.
Okay.
And then,
some
like,
knives flying around. But is there a plot, or is it just like found footage of ghosts?
Yeah, I think there's a plot. I can't remember. I think there's like a point where, like,
look, what is the
like
story behind the found footage? Is it like this team of investigators found it or something?
No,
or
nothing like that.
Is there a text at the screen that says like this footage was found somewhere?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember all that. I just remember little bits and pieces of it. But there was, like, a small storyline. Like, I think it was made to be, like, a... kind of like a found footage thing, but, like, not really, because, like...
Well, I think it was kind of the first, like, obviously, found footage horror things. Well, Blair Witch was more like that, but it started a whole new wave of it.
Which one was first, Blair Witch?
Yeah, Blair Witch was way earlier. And
I've seen Blair Witch.
Yeah, Blair Witch,
which is, I do
the marketing for that movie was, like, extremely low budget, and the marketing for it was insane. They made it seem like it was a real thing.
Anyway... Yeah. Continuing on with my synopsis of you asked and then you
I want to hear
interrupted.
So there's a knife they were trying to get the ball.
Knife was just being held on the ceiling, and that was scary. And then I think there's like a teenage daughter. There's like they have kids in the house, I think. And there's a teenage daughter, and she's like on her computer. Something happens with the camera and the computer, and I don't know. It's creepy because it's like the ghost. And then at the very end, they, like, I think it's, like, the mom, like, runs out of the house because, like, the ghosts are, like, messing with everybody. And then she, like, runs into this other house, and there's just, like, a bunch of bloody people in the other house. Like, I think they're, like, I don't know. That's ghosts? All I remember. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I've only seen this movie once, and it was 10 years ago, so... Yeah. Beats me.
So would you recommend Paranormal Activity?
No. We should watch it though, because I would like to see if everything that I said was like sort of correct. Because if none of that was in there, then we have another problem.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. We're gonna watch some Paranormal Activity and maybe do a review of that sometime.
And also, I say that it was the first one, but it very well could not have been the first one. So I also may have seen multiple of them, and I may be mixing them all together. Who knows? That's just the way my brain works. So we'll watch all of them, and then we'll report back.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think there's 4, right? 3 at least. I think.
Yeah, I think
there's
so.
a lot.
Yeah,
there's like more than they needed to be.
There was a lot of found footage horror movies. There was even Diary of the Dead, which was a found footage zombie movie that George Romero did when he found out that you could.
I'm just gonna say it. I hate zombie stuff.
Yeah,
I genuinely can't stand it.
I didn't like Walking Dead.
I'm over
I like
it.
the comics, but
It's not.
I didn't like the show, and the movies
I don't
got
know.
old real quick when 28 Days Later was pretty good. The first horror movie I saw.
One movie that we watched too that was funny. What was it called?
The vampire movie?
No, the zombie movie. With
Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
I
like
do
a
like that,
masterpiece.
but that's a funny one.
Yeah,
like I don't like serious zombie stuff.
Yeah, well, it's like Shaun of the Dead takes the zombie stuff seriously. Just they're funny.
No,
that movie's
like,
amazing.
I would prefer.
I love that movie.
Like a comedy.
Yeah,
because it's like I like it's not real.
You ever seen Warm Bodies? I've never seen that.
No.
You might like it though. It's a rom-com about zombies.
Might like it.
First horror movie I saw in the theater, I just remember this. I don't know why. Well, I know why because we're talking about it. But, first scary movie I saw was Jurassic Park when I was like very little and I was terrified of when the guy in the Jeep gets eaten by the Dilophosaurus. But I went with this girl to see The Grudge. We went on a date, and I don't even think I could drive yet. I think my mom drove us.
Oof.
And she was on her phone the whole time.
Aww.
Texting, and I was just like, needless to say, I didn't see her again.
Good one.
And that was the end of that one. But I do remember afterwards we went to Burger King, and she got a black and white milkshake, and I was like, they won't do that here. And the woman was like, I can do that.
You love those.
I know. That's probably where I started getting them. Maybe.
Interesting.
All right, and on that note, folks, I think we're good.
No, you missed the most important thing we have to talk about.
What?
Better Call Saul.
Oh!
My God, what's wrong with you?
I don't know, I'm just trying to keep them tight. But if we got
I
stuff
don't
to
care.
talk about...
We have other business to discuss.
I didn't even have that on my list. But yeah, that's... yeah.
You need to keep it together.
Yeah, so
because
we made a bunch of...
This one was an important episode.
Yeah, we made a bunch of predictions on the last podcast. Last
we did,
week.
and I don't remember any of them. No, I do remember that they were all wrong. Because I was not
wrong.
Prepared for what happened at all.
Well, it was... The only thing... major spoilers for Better Call Saul, because...
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
I don't even know if a lot of people watch it. I guess, but no one we know.
Yeah, not the 10 people listening to this podcast, that's for sure.
Yeah, true. But if they do watch Better Call Saul, they should be keeping up with it like we are, because it's important.
And this probably doesn't count as a prediction because, like, it was just, we were guessing what was going to happen, and there's only so many options, but we did say something about Kim leaving, which does happen.
Yeah.
But she left, I thought she was just going to up and leave, you wouldn't see her leave, or she was going to break down emotionally or something and mentally and like couldn't do it anymore. But really they just had a very normal, very, very sad breakup.
Yeah, and it
was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it was really sad. It really tugged at my heartstrings a little bit.
It was very sad. The part where Saul, this couple in the show is married, mind you, and I'm pretty sure they've never said I love you on the show, or at least we haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it was intentional that we've never seen it, because I don't think they've actually said it, because the whole time Saul kind of doesn't... It seems to not know if she actually likes him as much as he likes her.
Yeah.
Do you get that vibe from it? He just feels like he's not good enough for her and whatever, and he finally says I love you in it as a last-ditch effort to keep her around, and it's just heart-wrenching.
Yeah, it really made me feel bad for him.
Yep.
Like, really. It made me feel bad for her, too, because, like, she was straight up, like, she was like, we're just not good for each other. Like, we're literally killing people. Like, she's like, we can't do this. Like, we're directly, like, involved with, like, people being, like, murdered.
She was a lawyer in a really big, reputable firm. Then she quit to go out on her own private practice because of Jimmy Saul. Then after that, she completely left that to be a public defender to help people more. So in a way, she was doing more what she wanted to, but it was just a downgrade every time in her life because of her relationship with him.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't good. And they got in their Did last week, I guess we talked after Howard got shot. Yeah, we talked about that scene.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So we were talking about what was going to happen with the aftermath of Howard getting killed, and I was thinking that was going to be like the rest of the season, was have them trying to figure out how to get rid of the body and what they were going to do. But then this episode, wait, was this the episode where? I'm confused. Was this the episode where Lalo had them go to Gus's house, or was that last week?
That was last week.
Did we talk about that on the podcast?
Maybe we didn't.
Huh. Maybe we recorded on Monday.
We did.
We did. Okay.
We recorded on
so
Monday,
there's 2 episodes we've
holy
seen.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah.
Last week's episode was really, really intense.
Yeah, last time we talked was when Howard got shot and Lalo was in their apartment. So we didn't know what was going to happen from there.
Didn't know.
Yeah, what ended up happening was Lalo, try to keep it brief, Lalo wanted to get one of them to go kill Gus. So it turns out that was all just 10. They're like playing chess. Gus and Lalo are each 4 steps ahead of each other.
If you're not watching this, you're really not going to get any of this.
Yeah.
But it's basically just a bunch of drug dealers.
Yes.
And people that are just criminals trying to kill each other, and they're all just one step ahead of each other, and they're just it's gets hairy very quick.
Yeah.
After, but they end up like making it look like Howard just
disappeared.
What had a really bad cocaine problem and walked into the ocean.
Yeah, basically, our main characters are at a point in the show where they cannot just get rid of a body or anything, the people they were sent to go murder can get rid of a body like that, and they ended up being the ones to do it.
Yeah.
So that happened. So basically the murder's all taken care of, but now they're forever scarred by it, and it's changed their life. Saul is probably fine. Kim not so much, as we saw in this week's episode.
Yeah, well...
She ended up leaving, quit being a lawyer, so she's not even a lawyer anymore.
Yeah.
But she may be down the road. Because we saw that one flash forward, or flash sideways, or whatever, where they mention her being a lawyer or something. Mm-hmm. She could have just, moved towns and changed her name again.
Yeah, she very well could have.
Because, whatever his assistant is, she knows who Kim is.
Yeah.
But then he gives her some number and says, hey, tell him I sent you. But if it was for Kim, he would just be like, hey, this is Kim's number. Not if she's going by a different alias or a different name.
Exactly.
Which, I really thought it was going to end on a note. Their relationship was going to end on a note where she was either going to die or just leave, or was going to end on bad terms. Didn't really end on bad terms. It was like a normal breakup.
Yeah, it was just
where
sad.
It was like they've grown apart, or they have to grow apart.
They have to separate.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of kind of not tying up of loose ends, but a lot of conclusions to a lot of storylines so far, and then we get the big flash forward.
The time jump.
Where
baby.
This whole show we've been following Jimmy McGill. Now we have a time jump, and we are fully following Saul Goodman now.
Yes, the Saul Goodman that you see in Breaking Bad, which I know a lot of people have seen Breaking Bad, and they know that character. Now, finally, in what are we, season 6 of Better Call Saul, we were...
Oh, I think it's season 5, because it's split into 2.
Oh, yeah, season 5. So, we are just fully into the Saul Goodman you see in Breaking Bad, which is exciting.
Ooh. I caught something when I started rewatching it. I rewatched the episode again, but only saw half of it. But at the beginning, Jimmy is talking to Kim, because murder has just happened. And Jimmy gives his whole monologue to her, where he says, hey, let's just keep going forward day by day, and then one day we're going to wake up and realize we haven't even thought about it that day. And that's when we know we'll be able to forget. Then later there's the time jump. Jimmy's waking up next to a prostitute and going about his day. I think that's the day he finally forgot about it. And that's why we pick up on that day. That could just be me looking into it too much, but...
Maybe.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. I mean, he gives that monologue, and then
it just
opens up to a day where time jumps, and he is going about his day. He doesn't miss a beat. I think that's the day he's finally forgotten about it. That's the day he was finally fully Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
And it's also the day that I think, if I had to guess, it's the day that we first see him in Breaking Bad. This is just him getting up to get ready for his day.
Yeah.
So we're now fully in Breaking Bad time.
Yes,
Lalo,
so exciting. That's what we've been waiting for.
Lalo, the main antagonist from in the main drug dealer from Better Call Saul is now dead. There's still the cartel and the Don and everything, but the main antagonist is dead.
A lot of people are dead.
Yeah, a lot of people are dead. So now there's this big time jump. What do you think is going to happen? Oh, no. Say the big reveal we found out about Gus Fring.
Oh my god! This is like... I'm like... This came just in time.
This has been so much fun to watch together and have these revelations. But there's a big revelation about the character that we never even thought of. Gus Fring, one of the best characters in TV history.
The Chicken Man is gay.
Yes.
He is gay.
He is
totally
a gay man.
Gay.
Yeah.
Like, no one can watch... Okay, if you have a gaydar, which a lot of people do, I would say if you are gay, you have a gaydar. You can spot it. You just know. You get it. And if you watch that scene and you don't think that they're gay, you're straight. You're straight and you don't have a gaydar at all.
Or if you're somebody who likes movies or shows or anything, there's no other point. There's no other point to the scene.
It's just the way that they talk.
Yeah. No, they're fully flirting with each other.
They're flirting.
It's Gus and
but it's so
this not I guess the manager of a restaurant or a sommelier or something.
Yeah, he's
somebody
like
who works at this restaurant. He's giving him some wine and they're talking to each other, having kind of a normal conversation, the way a guy would talk about wine with someone. But then they get a little close towards the end, and you can tell they're flirting. And it's also, like we were saying the other day, the way he's talking is very much like you would flirt if you were a manager somewhere. Like, you wouldn't straight out just, flirt with somebody. You would kind of test the waters a little bit without, doing too much. And it's fully... That's how they're talking to each other. Yes. And you may be asking, why is it important, or why does it make any difference if Gus Fring is gay or not? Well, it explains so much more of the character. Yes. Because in Breaking Bad, we see a flashback, and we rewatched this scene.
Yes.
There's a scene in Breaking Bad where there's a flashback where the person that Gus Fring starts making meth with gets murdered in front of his eyes, and that's his whole reason for getting revenge. And I thought it was a little weird that this whole time it was just this guy he worked with, and he's going through so much for this revenge, it seems almost petty. And then we thought maybe that was his husband or lover or something.
Yeah.
Then rewatched the scene, and that's totally it. I don't know if they intended that from the beginning, but the guy says, what does he say about Gus? He says he's my partner.
Yeah, he does. They're sitting there at the table, and they're accusing him of something. Because
they sold drugs under Don Eladio's nose when it's his territory. Yeah. But they're trying to say that they were doing it just to get his attention, to work with him. They weren't actually selling it or whatever. And what they think is going to happen, they think they're going to shoot Gus. So Gus's the partner or whatever is trying to defend him, and he's talking about Gus. Yeah,
he's my partner. I love him. Does he say he love him or
no?
I think he says I care about him.
Because when you first watch it, I never had an inkling of that. I just thought he meant he's his partner, he works with him.
Yeah,
but then so then they end up shooting him and not Gus, and Gus's reaction is so much more. Yeah,
he goes to attack the other guys.
Oh, he said about Gus, he said that he saved him. He took him off the streets or something. Remember, in Chile, he.
Oh yeah. But yeah, he dives for them and tries to fight them, and then they like wrestle him to the ground, and they like put his face right next to the guy's face, and they're like telling him like, the only reason we didn't kill you is because we know who you are. Yeah, which is an interesting line that we have yet to figure out.
Yeah, and I don't know if
I don't know what that means.
I think they're gonna leave a little mystique to the character and some mystery to it.
But I mean, if that happened to, like, anybody, you would be so upset that somebody murdered your partner in front of your eyes.
Before, I think I thought it was like his brother or something, or he clearly loved him a lot.
Yeah,
like,
I thought he was his brother too, but I don't know, it just...
Or something, they had been through so much together. Because, like, if a bunch of drug dealers just killed someone in front of you, no matter who they are, you may be so freaked out that you don't do anything, but he dives at them with no regard for his own life whatsoever.
They probably do that throughout the I'm pretty sure they do that throughout the show, of showing them, kill people, and then everybody else around you is just like, yep, that's a part of the business, like they died, whatever. But this situation was very different. That's not how they usually would have them react to something like that. So,
and the big scene, he also, when his partner is on the ground dying next to a swimming pool, they put Gus Fring on the ground and they step on his neck to make him stare at his partner. I
said that.
I
did just say that. I don't know. I just said that. Thanks.
Well, I didn't even know my point I was going to make with that then.
Probably the same point I made.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a huge thing we took away from it, was that Gus Fring is gay.
Yeah, he's totally gay.
So what do you think is going to happen now that we're in Breaking Bad time as a flash forward? We've yet to see the flash forward for it with Gene.
There's still the black and white Cinnabon Gene part, which is like present day, I'm assuming, or whatever. Whatever present is to them. And we have not seen... What was I gonna say? We haven't seen
Walt and Jesse yet.
We haven't seen Walt and Jesse yet, and they are in it. They've said that they're in it, so we haven't seen them yet.
So that is one thing we can rule out, is that it's not going to be during like Better Call Saul time, because now we're in Breaking Bad time, so we will see Walt and Jesse again. I'm assuming it's either the first day they meet or some like adventure or deal or something that we didn't see yet. Yeah. So another kind of flash forward to mid Breaking Bad time.
Oh my god, what if...
That's another thing. What if it keeps flashing forward all throughout Breaking Bad?
Skyler's in it. What if like...
Oh, what if you barely see Walt and Jesse?
I really hope Walt Jr.'s back.
Oh, there was a part where they were in the super lab, which isn't built yet, and they were saying they had to find a new engineer, and I was like, enter Walt Jr. And I was like, they're telling him it's a breakfast factory, and he's like, oh, I'll be done in 2 days.
No. I want to see Uncle Hank again, too.
He was so good. I don't know,
but what's he doing right now?
If anyone has watched Better Call Saul, there is a scene with Hank Schrader that is like the best Hank stuff ever. It's awesome. It's like this chase scene in this like tunnel. And then I was telling Anna, I saw an article online that was like Dean Norris on why he decided to reprise his role. It's like, why wouldn't he? Why would you need an article for that?
Yeah.
Why, like,
he would be dumb not to.
Yeah, what else would he be doing? No, I'm not going to redo the role that literally, like, revamped my career.
Yeah, I don't know. And he's such an important part. Yeah. Like, he's, like, so, like... I don't know. He's just so good. It's such a good...
I still think they might possibly show a scene on how Saul got the ricin into... How he poisoned that kid, because you never saw it. That's something you never see. You just hear that Saul was involved somehow with poisoning this kid. So there's 4 episodes left. So we know we're probably going to get a full Gene episode.
Yeah, they have to. If they don't...
That could be the finale, do you think? The finale would be a full Gene episode?
Maybe.
I was also thinking...
I mean, it would make sense because it started out as Jimmy Miguel, so I think it's just going in chronological order, I'm pretty sure.
But all the black and white scenes with Gene were just shorter scenes before. Like tiny bookends to episodes, but I think they might do a full episode of kind of where he ends up. He could get caught by the police at the end. Like maybe it's just like he could die. It's his finally, like, he
everybody
goes
else
out,
is dying.
yeah, he goes out swinging at the end. He finally becomes Saul again.
Except for Jesse. Jesse lives.
Oh, yeah. But he does have the diamonds he hasn't done anything with.
Yeah, that was wild.
He talks to his assistant about meeting him somewhere.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
Where does he get the diamonds from? Do we know where he gets the diamonds from, or was that a new element?
I think that was a new element.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess he never really showed where the diamonds were from. They didn't really show him getting the black book, but it was just assumed that he gets it.
Yeah.
Because there's a time jump. So there's a few unanswered questions. What? I'm trying to think of any other questions. Now that there's this flash forward, I don't know what they would show from Gus Fring, because the show has really been split between Saul and Gus Fring. Mm-hmm. So there could be more scenes of Gus with the guy, the sommelier guy, like, because knowing Gus, he would really take his time with this relationship with this guy.
Yeah.
Because he even says to him, he's talking to this guy about wine. They're kind of flirting a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. And he's like, I have a confession to make. We talked about wine a year ago, and it was such a good conversation, I bought the bottle of wine. So clearly he is taking his time with this guy.
Yes.
So maybe it's slowly going to reveal his relationship with that guy or something. But I think maybe something they would do that wouldn't ruin any Breaking Bad stuff for me is that maybe Saul, without Saul knowing, he maybe was kind of coaxed into working with Walter White so Gus could get close to him and get an eye on him. After he's obviously started cooking meth. Like, the whole reason that he works with Walt in the first place is because Mike pressured him into doing it or something. Because Gus wanted to set up a meeting with him because he's so calculated with everything.
Yeah.
And would kind of explain why he would set up a meeting with someone. It's because he's heavily vetted him and has seen him work with Saul and everything, and is thinking, maybe I got to see this guy up close. And then when he sees him with Jesse and Jesse's high, he says, I can't work with him.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they might do something like that, because I don't know what else they would do with Gus's character, but that's obvious. That's every step of the way this show. I don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then Mike, because it's all starting to set up. Well, this is so weird now that it's in Breaking Bad time, and like the stuff with the cartel is already going on. So I don't know what more there's to set up with Gus's character. Maybe the super lab just gets finished.
I don't know. They keep surprising us. So they've got a bunch of stuff up their sleeves.
Yeah. Gale might come back again if they show the super lab again.
Oh my gosh.
But like, I don't know if they do that, because in Breaking Bad they already showed Gale when he was unboxing the stuff in the super lab, which was probably one of the days it got finished.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, 4 episodes. How long is each episode? It's like an hour,
about,
I think.
Yeah, 45 minutes each. About.
Yeah.
But some of them are longer. Sometimes they're like an hour and a half.
Sometimes they're so long, and I'm like checking the time. And I'm like, dang.
Because
like,
it's hard to tell with the way the writing is. It's like this could either go on for another hour or could be done this minute.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, is this about to end? And it's only been 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I really feel like, oh no, the episode's going to end, and it's only been 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, well, I thought it was gonna end before it time jumped, and then it time jumped, and I was like, "Oh yes!"
So awesome.
So
I really didn't
excited.
think they would show his house like that again, because the season started out with showing Saul's mansion, and
that was a really good opener.
So great.
Ugh,
so good.
That was really good.
I wouldn't say disappointed, but like I did like in Breaking Bad that there was a lot of mystery to Saul, and you never really saw his home life. But now that they fully showed it, I guess I do love it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, it seemed like he always could have been putting up a front. Like, some people thought that maybe he was actually living a normal life at home with Kim and stuff. But no, he's fully a scumbag.
He's exactly what you would think he would be.
Big time.
And exactly what his house would look like.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, he fully just wakes up with a prostitute.
Yeah, that was... yeah. I figured that.
Yeah.
I mean, the very beginning, you were like, oh, there's a pink underwear in the bathtub, it could be Kim's. And I was like, no way. No way. No way Kim
I was
stuck
thinking
through
maybe because
Breaking Bad times.
Kim was going down a path where she could totally be Kim Goodman. Or Saulene
Yeah.
Goodman. I don't know what her name would have been. No, what was her
Worst
name?
name ever.
What was her name when they would go on their like little
Oh, Jezebel?
Jezebel? Yeah,
I think it was Jezebel.
Jezebel Goodman.
Jezebel Goodman. Oh my
Yeah.
god. That sounds awful. That sounds so bad.
Any other predictions for the rest of the season? Like I said, there's 4 episodes. I think they might do,
I don't know, man.
or a way they could do it is a full Gene episode, but it jumps between Saul stuff and Gene stuff. Maybe it does more flash forwards throughout
Yeah.
Saul's career, and all that's bookended with Gene stuff. There could be a whole episode of Walt and Jesse stuff.
Yeah. They've been
Why
really
not?
good about like trickling in people from Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah,
They've been doing it very like good. Like it's not like everybody all at once. It's just like over each episode it's like
Yeah.
very spaced out and just like I don't know, I like
for
it.
for a minute I wasn't digging it because like I really liked the direction. I'm talking like season 2,
Oh, yeah.
season 3, where it was. I really liked that the show came into its own and was really becoming its own thing. But then it just started to be like the Breaking Bad sequel, and I didn't like that. But now that the characters are so well developed, I'm so much more into it
Yeah.
than I was the last season of Breaking Bad, which I was really into the last season of Breaking Bad. This is just the characters are so much more developed, whereas Breaking Bad was sort of characters just becoming evil, as
Yeah.
opposed to like these like really well developed characters.
I wonder. I was just gonna say, I wonder if they're gonna pull anything from El Camino,
I don't know.
but I don't know if any of the times line up.
Well, kind
they?
of. Like, times don't really... It depends, because El Camino could have been during the Gene time. We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't
that's
know
what
when
I'm
it is.
saying. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know when it is. I don't know if it's during Gene time or if
Yeah.
it's before or if it's after. If it's before, we could very well see something of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's the new... Because El Camino had a couple new characters that were involved with the Nazi guys. That didn't really have anything to do with Saul. There's also the money from Breaking Bad, which really doesn't have anything to do with anyone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of just any other... Like, there weren't really any loose... Because I've watched through Breaking Bad like 10 times. There's no, like, loose, like, plot threads or anything that don't go anywhere. Like, the only thing I can think of is the ricin poisoning, where you never see it happen, but you know Saul's involved somehow. And you know that they got the ricin cigarette from Jesse. But even that, they showed he'll do it again in a different scene
Yeah.
to kind of show that how he did it. So I don't know. If they could, whatever Jesse's girlfriend's name was,
Oh.
and the son, they could be in it again, and the son it could be the same actor pretending to be the son.
Gosh.
Because he got like a lot older, and they had to shoot it in a way to kind of hide it. Like they would have him at a table in a tiny chair.
Ugh.
This is
Weird.
like you don't really notice it, but still. What else? I'm trying to think of like Saul stuff. Like he's fully Saul now, and we've been
Got
watching.
the comb over.
Yeah. Oh, the comb over's bad.
It's
Like
so
he
bad.
gets out of the shower and is
Ugh.
fully bald and like flings this hair over this comb over.
Wet.
It's so
mop of
good. It's
hair.
like iconic though. It's so good.
It's so gross
And he just
looking.
like combs it over like he thinks he looks so good.
Yeah, he's very
Mm-hmm.
cocky. Very, very cocky.
And it's funny, in the same episode, we see him we see him kind of building his law firm a little more. He's putting a big sign on top. This is Saul Goodman and Associates. And then there's the flash forward to Breaking Bad time, and that sign is not even there. It just says Better Call Saul. All over.
it does, yeah.
And it says Habla Espanol.
Yeah. I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
I
I caught that
because
because it's like, I guess it's trying to be a little bit classy, and it's just like, no.
Who are the associates?
Yeah, I guess
There's
there weren't
nobody
any.
else.
He was probably dreaming that Kim was gonna come work with him one day,
True.
and now he's just
That
Kim
never
was like
happened.
the last, like, shred of good in him. I think.
Yeah.
He's just fully like awful.
Yeah, he has no reason. He has nobody to be good for anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just done.
Jimmy McGill pops up because I rewatched this scene on YouTube a few weeks ago. Jimmy McGill pops up for like 2 minutes in Breaking Bad. That is at the end of the series when they're in the safe house at the vacuum cleaner guy's place, and Saul's in Walt's talking to Saul about how they need to go find some hitmen, and he's like, "No, I'm done. I'm retired." Yeah. And he's completely different than Saul. It's like he's like Jimmy.
Yeah.
Again, it's so weird. And then the Gene character is completely different too. So that was the last appearance of him was briefly in that episode of Better Call or Breaking Bad.
That just shows the talent of Bob Odenkirk. He is just
it's nuts. I don't even think
amazing.
He didn't even know he had it in him.
Yeah, it's definitely the writing, but also him. I mean, to be able to just change, you're the same person.
Yeah.
But you're not.
Well, it's
very bizarre.
I saw an interview with him where he was when he was in Groundlings, I think it was Groundlings, the comedy troupe, he was in it with Chris Farley and a bunch of other people, and obviously Chris Farley and all these other guys were 10 times funnier than him, he thought. And he said that he had a thought. He's like, I could probably be the funniest guy on a drama. And then 30 years later he ends up in Breaking Bad as he's hysterical.
Crazy.
And he's playing that character that is in his wheelhouse. He can play this lazy guy and everything. And then in Better Call Saul, Jimmy is such a nicer character that is kind of a piece of shit, but has kind of there's a lot of good in him, and he just plays it so well.
Yeah.
And
makes you feel bad.
I just think throughout the show, just his acting, he just kind of fell into it, and he's so good now. When they do I think the first half of the season, when he first plays Saul again and just slips back into it so perfectly, it's nuts. It's like watching a different actor almost.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you have any other predictions? What do you think? He doesn't are there any loose threads with Saul? There's the diamonds, like you said. Yeah, we haven't seen him get them. Maybe that could happen. We could see him get the diamonds.
Yeah, we don't know where he got these diamonds from, how he got these diamonds, what they're from. Yeah. Clearly, it was something...
Some kind of value, sentimental value or something. We never found out about the Sandpiper money.
Oh, yeah. We don't know what happens about the case.
Yeah.
Well, we know that HHM... HHM is... no longer going to be HHM anymore.
Yeah, they're changing their name and they're moving to some other location.
Yeah.
But they didn't even mention what would happen to the Sandpiper case.
Yeah, they didn't yet.
So maybe that'll just be one thing. Well, they'll be like, hey, the case is finally ended.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, okay, and he takes some money and gets it in diamonds or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, he still has that bag of money from the... doesn't he? He still has the bag of money from when he almost died in the desert.
No, that money was to get Lalo out of prison.
No, but he came back and then he gave him money in a bag.
Oh, that's right.
He still has that money, I'm pretty sure. But his settlement for Sandpiper is millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. It's a lot of money that he'll get.
Well, a lot of that money was in when he has to-go bag.
Yeah.
Remember when when he's leaving, he had a bunch of money in there? That could have been a lot of that money.
True.
But still.
True.
Do you have any predictions for where Walt and Jesse would show up?
I don't know. I feel like it's definitely going to be something that you don't expect.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel
what's something we don't expect then?
I don't know. How am I supposed to expect something?
Or not expect something?
Yeah. But I think it's just going to be a fun little we're not going to realize it, and then it's just going to be boom, Walt is right there, and you're like, holy shit, oh my gosh.
Well, I thought what they were going to do was just have them pop up at the supermarket or something. It was going to be so dumb, and I was going to be why would they show up there?
No, I think it's going to be something serious, but you're is it going to be Walt? It's going to be, or you're maybe not, and then it's just them. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be all right, we're going to go meet Walt now. I think it's going to be just boom, they're there.
Well, they didn't straight up say it in the show, but I think they pretty much confirmed that it's the first day that you see Saul on Breaking Bad. Which, when you first see Saul on Breaking Bad, they're already Walt and Jesse are already working together. They're already cooking meth together. So
when we end this, we should find that episode and see what he's wearing.
Oh, we should do that right after this.
Because they show...
Yeah, they show him getting ready for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me just say what happens in the Better Call Saul episode. First Breaking Bad. When you first meet Saul in Breaking Bad, he goes, Badger is in a holding cell. He goes, or an interrogation room, rather. He goes and sees Badger, because Badger got picked up. So he's just like an ambulance chaser and just goes to any case and argues for them. So he sees Badger, and he's looking through all these files that he has, and he's looking at the wrong file, and he says to Badger, he's like, what'd you get picked up for? Public masturbation? It's no big deal, kid. And Badger's like, no, I didn't happen. I got picked up for selling meth. Well, in this episode of Better Call Saul, he's getting ready for his day, and I think he's talking to his assistant on his Bluetooth. On his
Bluetooth, yeah.
And he's talking about the cases he has for the day, and one of them is a public masturbation case, which they talked about in Better Call Saul when he had that guy Fudge, remember, that was posing in front of the plane for public masturbation. He's like, oh, wait, I did a public masturbation guy. Oh, it's a new guy, different one? So I think they're referring to Badger, which would mean that this is the first day we see Saul.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Smart.
If he's wearing the same thing, not only have I watched Breaking Bad a lot, when I really like a show or a movie and I rewatch it, it gets burned into my brain. I thought it happened to everyone, and then Anna was like, no.
No, you're just a movie encyclopedia.
I'm like a savant.
Yeah.
I took a class in college that was basically we watched movies and then took a test where you had to quote the movie. It was like, what quote is it? What movie is this from? And I was like, this is seriously it? I was getting like A pluses in the whole class, and like the teacher loved me, and it was like I'm never been good at anything like this before. It was insane.
Oh.
All right, that being said, Better Call Saul is another masterpiece, I think.
Yeah.
I stand by this statement that this season is stronger than the last season of Breaking Bad because the characters are so well developed. The last season of Breaking Bad, while very good, feels like an epilogue. They introduce a bunch of characters in the last season that he then defeats in the last season. It's great, but it's just like the end before that season, he defeats Gus Fring, and that was really more of a definitive end for the whole show. But still very good. But this one has really been building up to something. And I did not expect a time jump like that. We were thinking the show was going to end with the first time he meets Walt and Jesse.
Yeah.
Like, to bookend it. But now he's fully in Breaking Bad time now, so who knows? All right, so I think that's pretty good for now.
Yeah.
We've set our predictions, and we've gushed over the show. What do you got planned for your week, craft and otherwise?
I don't know.
We'll say
tomorrow
we're going to a bonfire, and we're bringing the dog we're watching, and that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So you've got more work, and what else? Any store ideas? We are gonna make some business cards.
No, nothing right now. My brain is very much focused on work right now. Because this was my first day yesterday, so... Yeah.
And also, if we seem kind of aloof, it's because that movie was very intense today.
It took a lot out of me.
Yeah, it took a lot out of me, too. All right, well, that's it, guys. This has been the Part-Time Podcast. I hope you have a good part-time week.
Wow, good.
Yeah.